Hiya! I'm going to set up a B6 Traveller's Notebook today, but a lot of what I'm doing can be modified to fit your size Traveller's Notebook or your ring-bound planner or whatever planner you may have. I thought it might be fun to set up a planner using the Planner Babe kit from Planners Anonymous. So the first thing to do with setting up a planner is to create or gather all of the inserts to put inside the planner. So these are the pages that you write on. So every planner setup that I make, I move my B6 Traveller's Notebook insert here, which is a Anyplans printable insert, and it has all of the months of 2019 in it. And then every month I create a new insert. So this month, this is my insert. This is a Lights Planner Action insert, which I've coloured. I've used stamps to colour it, and this is a Crafty Delicious Loves sticker for July, which I've popped on it. So that's July's insert. For August, I have these luxe inserts here from Planners Anonymous. So they match the kit that I'm going to set up with. All I've done with these is print them. So I've opened them in a PDF reader, and then I've sent them to the printer on actual size, and I've sent them to print on both sides, flipping on the short edge. And then that prints all of them like so. So it's all in a book format ready to go. So what I'll do now is I'll just cut these inserts out and show you that process. If you're wondering what I'm drinking today, it's really nice actually. It's this organic green tea Wellness, and it's blueberry and pomegranate superfruits. It's actually really yum. I'll need to buy some more of that. This is a Fiskars procision paper cutter. I love it. It's really nice. I've gone through a few paper cutters, but this is the one I like. So this is the insert, and it's quite thick, so I'm not going to be able to cut it all in one go. Also, these are printed on 120 GSM paper, so it's thicker than normal printer paper. Normal printer paper is 80 GSM, and these are 120 GSM. So I've got a few pages here. You normally always, with whatever printable inserts you buy, you have crop marks here which show where you can cut. I don't usually follow them completely. I measure as well as following them, just because I make all of my inserts a 5 by 7 inch, and a B6 is technically something like 4.9 inches by something or other. But I'll line it up with the top cuts and just cut through there. And then flip it and pop it on 7 inches. So I cut my inserts to be 7 inches high for B6. And then I'll just grab the other half. I always cut the top and then the bottom. I don't know why. That's just what I do, so at least hopefully the cuts are all consistent. Okay, so then we just pop the two halves back together, making sure we put them the right way. And that's the 7 inch height of the notebook. The next step that I do is I start from the center, and I basically just fold every page and sort of run my fingers along there. You can use a bone folder if you want to. I try not to overly complicate things, so just a finger is fine. But press firmly, and that means the book will close a bit more nicely. So if you have a ring-bound planner, of course, you just cut your individual pages and then punch holes in them. You don't need to do this folding process. And with a ring binder, you can also cut your side of your page just in the paper cutter. So you can cut each page as you go. With a traveller's notebook, if you want to have the side tidy, it's better to fold it into a book and then cut the side. If you want to actually bind the book with staples or with sewing, I actually prefer to do it at this stage before I cut the edge here, just so that this edge then can be nice and perfectly straight. But what I actually do with my traveller's notebook inserts is I don't do anything to bind the book together. The elastic in the traveller's notebook holds it together. So generally with most of my traveller's notebook inserts, I'll just demonstrate here, I just use the elastic to hold everything in place, and that holds the book in place quite firmly without actually worrying about stapling or sewing or anything along the edge there. The next step is to cut along this edge. To do that, I use a self-healing mat and this rotary cutter, handheld rotary cutter. So all I do is I line it up along one of the inch markings here, and I want to cut it along at 5 inches. It's good to use a ruler with a metal blade to help with this process. This is the one I've got. It's a We Are Memory Keepers Supreme ruler. I wouldn't actually recommend it. All of these little rivety things here popped out, and I've actually now glued the metal to the plastic. So I mean, it works, but it doesn't look all that pretty. Hopefully they come out with a new version where the metal doesn't pop off. I do like this ruler because you can hold it up here so your fingers are well out of the way of a blade. So if you put the ruler along the 5 inch mark and then just with the blade just trim through. It might take a few passes with the blade to get through depending on how thick the insert is. But by doing this method you have a nice flat, hopefully you can see that there, it's nice and flat along the edge of the book. Whereas if you cut all the pages and then fold them, some of them will be sticking out. So that's how you can make a nice edge there. And then if you want to, you can also round the corners with whatever you might have. I have this We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper, and I just use that on the 1/4 of an inch setting. This book's quite thick, so I'd do it in 2 parts. So I'd hold it in the middle and get all these bits here and pop it in the 1/4 of an inch. And then the same to the bottom. You can see it pushes through quite easily, even though it's quite a few pages. I think it's about 9 pages of 120 GSM paper. And then just do that to the other corners at the back. Rounded edges are not essential at all. Rounded edges are just a personal preference sort of a thing. So there we go, you can see we've rounded all of the edges there. So we've got a book ready to go. Once you have your inserts, you insert them in elastics just like this. You just find the center of the insert, lift the elastic, and there you go. Just if you're interested, I'll just do a quick flip of this Luxe insert for August from the Planner Babe kit. Each of the weeks is using a different colour from the kit. And there are 5 weeks in it. There's always a really nice centre art piece. This is dot grid. And that's also dot grid. And that's dot grid. This is dot grid. We've got things to do, finances, 1 line a day, up to 31 days, And then we've got a looking back reflection, and over here I am grateful for, and then there's the back of the insert. This will be my insert for August, and then I'll just pop my monthly one. Always goes in the front, so it has a summary of all of the months. I'm just doing that off camera because there's quite a lot of personal information in that. So there's the monthly one, as in every month of the year, isn't it? This will be for August. And then behind that, I normally like to put some sort of a notes insert. This is one I've just printed from Crafty-licious Loves for the Make-A-Wish digital kit. I'll just pop that one in there. And then I've also printed this one. This is using a free digital printable from Planners Anonymous to celebrate the 2-year anniversary. And I just made a cover with that. And then on the reverse side, there's like a whole heap of different planner babes that I just put small on the back. And in here I've got my blog/YouTube insert from Annie Plans Printables. I really need to try and film more, so hopefully using this insert will help with that. Then I'm going to use this string here for a folder which I'll make for the Traveller's Notebook, and then on the back string I'm going to pop this insert which I got in a Happy Scrappy subscription kit. And it's just a grid outline. There's some cute little artwork on bits of it. And then this second line here fits 15mm washi. So it's an Annie Plans printable insert in conjunction with Happy Scrappy. So find the center. These ones are always stapled. And pop that in the back insert. Once I've got all my inserts in, I then like to cut the paper to make dashboards. So I generally like to wrap one of these thicker paper, the double-sided paper. I like to wrap one of those around each of the inserts. So I need to cut 5. I have all of the different papers from the kit lined up here so I can look at them. And then I also like to look at the insert that I'm going to wrap the dashboard around, just to make sure I like the look of the two together. So the first thing I might do actually is whatever's going to wrap around this August one, because it's got quite a floral cover to start. So for example, I wouldn't want to have a dashboard which opens up with the floral. That would be a bit of ooh. This one here is super cute with the different dreamliners on it and the hearts, and then it has the subtle grey on the inside. I also really love this paper with the different planners, and the coils and foils and inserts, oh my, strings and rings and discs, oh my. And then it's just got the yellow in the inside of it. Really love that one too. I love most of the papers, so I'm not going to go through and tell you all the ones I love. And then I need something for the very front. I'm actually wondering whether to go bold and have the black right in the front. Sometimes I need to think about it for a little bit, so I just move on to the next insert. So this insert has some yellow in it, so it would look really good with this one. The only thing is I don't know if I want those two beside each other, so I may need to move where I have that insert, but definitely I want to make a dashboard with that paper. It's a fairly organic process as to which dashboards I decide to cut. Sometimes I can't fully decide, so I'll just start with a few. I'm pretty sure I want these 3 pages here to be dashboards. And just with the Dreamliners, I just want to look at the height that the dashboard's going to be to see what would get chopped off, to see where I want to cut it. And then with these papers, because there's text on the back, you just need to make sure you've got them the right way up. So I cut them at 7 inches. And save these little bits because you can use these for embellishing. So with the width of it for B6, I want to cut it at 10 1/4 inches. So the B6 insert page is 5 inches, and it's good to allow some to wrap around it. So 10 1/4 inches seems to work quite well. Can fold them in half, or you can score them if you want to use a scoreboard. I generally fold them. And then also you can round the edges of these as well if you so desire. So now I just put them where I think I want to have them. I pop them in before I decorate them. I'll take them out to decorate them. But I'm pretty sure this is where I want to have them. This insert here, I'd like to use this paper which opens up into the yellow. So I'll just pop that in and cut that at 7 inches. And at 10 1/4. Now I have some of the dashboards decided. With this insert here, I printed this cover on 120 GSM paper, but what I might do is actually print it on cardboard and actually use it as the dashboard for that one. So I'll just skip over that one. And then I want some paper for this one. And I was actually thinking of the black, but the green competes with that a little bit. I think I might use this pink one here. So just check this to make sure you've got it up the right way. And then I need to cut some of it off. Oops, I cut the wrong bit off. After saying be careful to cut the right bit off, I cut the wrong bit off. I cut the font off. Oops, so watch out for that. If there's something on the reverse side that you actually want, make sure you don't chop it off. So maybe just double check before you cut. I always say that, and then I always make mistakes. It's part of the process. Because there's very little font now, I may actually end up making that the cover and leaving the little bit of text upside down. I can decorate with that. I think I'm going to go with this side and here. So cutting the dashboards is normally the next step in the process after printing the inserts, and then I just flick through and see if I'm happy with the way that I've done that. Thanks so much for watching this video where I've started setting up a B6 Traveller's Notebook with the Planner Babe kit from Planners Anonymous. Hopefully tomorrow I'll see you again as I embellish the dashboards. Bye!